Hello everyone, welcome back to me! How are you all doing, guys? You can't see me at the moment because I am on my different setup for now, which is going to be my dual cam setup, but I want to show you guys a cool combo that I found. Well, I say I found, I don't claim to be the first person to ever discover this, but I have discovered it myself independently of researching it, if that makes sense. So if someone else found this before me, I'm not trying to take credit for your thing, but some interesting things that I found. So this here at the moment, I should explain, is a stand-in for Spenta. Mine has not arrived. It was dispatched today, but it's not arrived yet. So this is Spenta. Just think about that. So these three cards here are the three cards that I know of at the very least, which are 1.5 card combos for DRACOTAIL. As in, this plus any monster in hand gets you full combo, right? Spenta, obviously, a lot of people know this one. Fallen of the White Dragon. I was lucky enough to pull this out of one of my packs. And yes, it's 1.5 card combo, much the same. They all kind of do a very similar thing in the way that they work, right? I'm going to show you guys the Spenta combo here first, just to show you how it works. So again, imagine this is Spenta. So you would discard Spenta to able to search Zoroa to your hand. Normal summon Zoroa. Use Zoroa's effect to equip itself with a Magistus monster from the extra deck, then use other effect to summon Spenta from the graveyard. You would then Synchro Summon for Zoroa, let me double check the name, Magistus Conflagrant Calamity. Such cool names. I'm so happy Magistus is good, the names have always been great. Zoroa effect to equip itself with Artemis. Artemis effect to search for... I should put this here, by the way, sorry. This is here as your 0.5 card. To search for Crowley. Crowley effect to summon itself. Fusion out of these two. Sorry about the camera again, that keeps happening on here for some reason. Fusion there to summon the invoked Magistus Omega. Now, you don't want to use this card's effect on the field unless your opponent has something that you want to get rid of. Otherwise, you'll kind of have to get rid of itself. So you then want to use the effect of Zoroa in graveyard to destroy Magistus Omega to resummon itself. Then Magistus Omega's effect lets you summon a level 4 spellcaster from deck, which is Lucius. Lucius is able to then grab you Firemina. Then use Firemina to fuse your monster in hand with Lucius, which enables you to summon Arthalion. Arthalion Chainlink 1, you want to target your Firemina to add it back to your hand, and then you want to use Lucius Chainlink 2 to set the Rahu from deck. At this point, you have a few options. Now, depending on how tight your extra deck space is, if you have a lot of space in your extra deck, which honestly I'll be shocked by if you're using the Magistus stuff, it's very extra deck heavy. But if you have space for like a rank 8 Xyz, you're not locked into anything yet, so you can do a rank 8 Xyz here, they're both level 8s. Or you can leave them both on the field if you want to do it like that, because you can turn this into somewhat of a floodgate if you're running Spenta. If you have Spenta in graveyard, you can equip this with a Magistus monster from your extra deck, which can be, as long as you know what your opponent is using, it can be a fusion synchro. Actually, I don't know if it can be synchro unless you're running two of these. I think this is the only one of the synchro Magistus, either way. But yeah, you can basically make this to a floodgate for any type of monster like that, if you equip it with one of those. Or you can do what I like to do, because I like to have I don't use the floodgate effect of this because I don't really have, unless it's something that I know is going to be useful, I'll tend not to use that. And Arthalion's kind of got its job done on the field at this point. So from there, I tend to go for SP. I don't necessarily have space in the extra deck for a rank 8. I was using some like Hope Harbinger or Photon Lord for a while, because those are both very good cards. But we'll go SP. SP's fine. And then you go for Rahu. You go for Rahu to fuse with the Urgula in your deck to summon the Gulamel. Then obviously you do Urgula and Firemina effect to set 2 traps of your choosing from your deck. I say pretty simple. That's the combo, right? And obviously at the end of that, you'd want to... I've ruined everything. I've ruined everything, guys. You'd want to add the Famine back to your hand as well at the end of that. So that's the Spenta combo, right? So this is the 1-card combo, 1.5 card combo, I should say, with Spenta, which enables you to get to your full DRACOTAIL combo. It's very strong, as you can see. It's a lot. The Magister stuff is very powerful because it doesn't lock you anywhere, at least not to my knowledge. Or at the very least, not during that combo, I should say. I can't say for anything outside of that, but during that combo, it doesn't lock you anywhere. Also, because if you use Spenta to get started on this, I should say, it becomes even more powerful because you are able to play through an Infinite Impermanent, something like that. You can't play through a Ghost Ogre, worth noting, if they Ghost Ogre your Zeroa, but you can play through an Imperm if you have the right cards in deck. If you have Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon in your extra deck, you can then use that to go into this instead by using Spenta's effect in Graveyard to equip your Zeroa with Artemis. Artemis search for Crowley, and Crowley is able to then don't have to use the fusion, I should say. You synchro into this, and then it gets you Ecclesia. Now that only works if you, Cartesia, I should say. That obviously only works if you have the right cards in hand to actually fuse with. If you don't, unfortunately, the combo does kind of end there. But it's nice to be able to basically pull those cards from your deck when otherwise you don't seem to be able to do that with this combo. It's all like with this deck, I should say. It's all very hand dependent unless you have very much the right kind of cards in your hand, in your deck. But I also, you might be able to figure out what happens there with the Fall of the White Dragon combo as well. So, once again, 1.5 card combo here. You can do this if you want to. You can, I think if you're playing the branded variant of the deck, you'd want to use this effect to send an Albion the Syrian Dragon or something like that. As this is the Magistus variant of the deck and the extra deck is stacked in such a way, we'll just do the normal summon of this, which is normal summon. You use the effect to summon Incredible Ecclesia Virtuous from your deck. You then synchro into Zeroa, and you can probably see where that goes from there. That's much more or less the same thing as before, but that's where you end up with that version of the combo. You start off a little bit different, and it gives you those options as well either way. So that is the version of the combo with Fall of the White Dragon. Now, I think that those combos are really cool. I like that there's now this there's now, a more interesting way to sort of go through your combos, I should say. That, you can access your cards in your deck much more easily, so you don't have to just focus on the Lucius or the Kitu to get into your combos. So any monster in hand plus Lucius and Kitu is like full combo, but now you can do it with all these things as well, which I really like. So you can now do it with Fall of the White Dragon, you can now do it with, with Spenta, but the most exciting one, in my opinion at least, is Advanced Swordsman of the Nekros. Now, the reason I find this exciting is because I found this independently. I'm not saying I'm the first person to have found this, but I'm saying I found this when I didn't see anyone else who had, I've not seen anyone using this. I have seen some people play DRACOTAIL Nekros. This is not that. This is a small Nekros engine in the deck, which enables you to go into the Magistus package and then go from there. So it turns Advanced Swordsman of the Nekros into a 1.5 card full combo for DRACOTAIL. Now, I will say this up front. This is strictly worse than both of the previous combos. If only because it requires a couple more bricks in your deck, a couple more engine requirements, and it requires a heavier extra deck investment, and it plays more heavily into Fawalos. Right? So this is strictly worse. However, it's an awful lot cheaper, which is why I'm excited for it, because I have historically been a budget player. I not so much these days. I'm looking to have a job, so I can afford like other stuff, and I'm quite comfortable in that sense at the moment. Thankfully, very, very thankfully, very grateful for that. But yeah, historically I've been a budget player before that sort of thing, and this whole engine and whole combo will cost you maybe £30 tops. And that's including the new card as well. That's including Invoke Magistus Omega. Everything, I got everything for like £15, and that's only because I already had the Magistus Omega on order. So yeah, it cost you maybe £30, £20 tops, is that kind of thing. It's a lot cheaper because the Nekros cards are very cheap. So I'll show you the combo. So you normal summon Advance Swordsman of the Nekros. Use its effect to summon Amelia from the deck. Amelia effect, which lets you add a Nekroz monster, ritual monster, or spell I should say, from the deck to the hand. You want to add NEKROZ of Catastor. That's in your hand now. You then want to link off one of these, doesn't really matter which one, into an Artemis the Magister's Moon Maiden, and then use NEKROZ of Catastor's effect to discard itself to summon a Nekros monster from your graveyard. You then want to contact fuse, not link, contact fuse these two into a Magister's Trozo. This is a tuner, so you can then synchro summon into Zoroa. Zoroa effect, as before, equip itself with an Artemis effect, I should say, to add your Crowley. Crowley effect to summon itself. Crowley effect again to fuse into invoked Magister's Omega. You then want to use Zoroa's effect in graveyard, as per usual, to destroy Omega and summon itself. Omega's effect to summon Lucius from deck. Lucius effect to add Phimena from deck to hand. You then use Phimena's effect, of course, to fusion summon into an Arthalion. Arthalion effect targeting the Phimena, and the Lucius effect to set the Rahu from your deck. Again, what I tend to do here is link off to an SP. I like ending on SP if I can. I think it's a very strong card to end on. It's just a solid thing to have. And I don't necessarily... So I don't have Spenta in this build, obviously. In the Nekroz build, in the Nekroz version of the deck, you wouldn't have Spenta, and therefore you wouldn't be able to equip your Zoroa with something else from the deck. So you can't really use the floodgate thing there. But you can go for a rank 8 or you can go for SP. I go SP because I kind of think that's going to be in the deck anyway. Whereas a rank 8 might not be, and this is a very steep extra deck requirement investment, as you can tell. But you go for the Rahu from here to fuse with the Urgula in the deck and the Phimena into your Gulamel. These two effect to set a trap from the deck, each, whichever ones you want to go with. And then you want to go Urgula effect to add Phimena back to your hand and put this on the bottom of the deck. That's the Nekroz combo. As you can see, they all end in the same way. The only issue is that the Nekroz combo requires a lot more extra deck investment, as you do need to use 2 Artemis the Magister's Moon Maiden and a Trozo. You also do need to have stuff like this in your deck. Catastor's not terrible to draw, to be fair. But in the build I was using, I was playing 2 Amelia because it is a hard brick. You do need to summon from the deck with Advance. So that's why Amelia is a hard brick. So I was running 2 of these. And to be fair, even if all you draw is an Amelia plus like 4 different hand interactions of some variety, like an Ash Blossom, a Ghost Spell, what have you, that's still SP plus 4 hand interactions pass, which is not nothing. That will get you to your next turn. So this is the Nekroz combo that I found. Again, not claiming full ownership over this. I'm not saying that I discovered this and no one else did. I just haven't seen anyone else play this yet. I've seen some people play Nekroz DRACOTAIL before. I've seen people test with the deck and play around with it. And it seems interesting, but this is not a Nekroz deck. This is a small engine which gets you into your DRACOTAIL combo, which starts off with Advanced Normal Summon. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope that's an interesting video. I really like this a lot. I like this a lot because it's budget. Like I say, you could pick up this little package instead for probably like £20–30 tops. Whereas of course your Spenta and your Full of the White Dragon are an awful lot more expensive than that. Now they're more expensive because they are new and they are better. Quite frankly, I'm not telling you this is better. This is not better. This is just the budget alternative if you're looking for something which is going to get you to much the same end field state, but is going to set you back a lot less money. Now, arguably, it's not necessarily a budget deck at that point because you still have to have the DRACOTAIL cards. However, the DRACOTAIL cards, I don't think they are horrifically expensive at the moment. On top of that, a lot of people already have them, so they've never, like, the DRACOTAIL cards by themselves have never been horrendously expensive, to be fair. So if you already have them, or if you want to pick them up with that, this version of the deck would probably come in at, I'm just guessing, but probably £100, which, considering that just 2 of these is about £100, that's a lot, you know? So a whole deck for about £100, or, you know, Now, I'm not saying don't get the new cards. This is an incredible card. It gives you this plus and Spenta, gives you so much more versatility as well. Because, as I say, you can go into your Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon with that sort of stuff, which gets you a Cartesia, gives you that small branded package on the go. So they are a lot better, they're a lot more versatile. Just want to make it very clear, not saying this is a better version of the deck, just saying it is cheaper. And therefore, I like it. That's it for the little video there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that made sense. I hope that you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you think this is anything worth playing at all, if you can't maybe afford Spencer or Fall of the White Dragon, let me know. I have tried the pure deck. I tried it last night at locals. Unfortunately, it's just too bricky now. Pure DRACOTAIL is very much gone. It's a real shame. It's just not really playable anymore, unfortunately. So you do have to play some kind of variant of the deck at this point to actually get anything going, because you just don't have access to your cards otherwise. You know, you don't have access to the stuff you need. So yeah, there you go. Hope that makes sense, everyone. Appreciate you watching. Have a lovely time. Enjoy yourself at locals. Have a fantastic time with the new regional season we have coming up. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the Liverpool Open. I'm gonna be going to the Open. I'll see you there. Have a wonderful time. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.